Andrea, but oh god, I'm starting to get sick to my stomach.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is Jennifer from 90 Day Insider, bringing you the latest updates. It's the real behind-the-scenes truths and the stories you won't hear anywhere else. Today, we're talking about something that fans have whispered about, debated, and feared for months. The question that has been floating around social media, community pages, Reddit threads, and fan comments is 1000 Del B Sisters officially ending? And did Tammy Slaton just confirm it in the most subtle and shocking way possible? It seems like the answer is yes, and the confirmation came not through a statement, not through a reply, not through an interview, but through a single intentional like on TikTok. Tammy Slaton's journey has been one of the most dramatic transformations we have ever seen on reality television. When the show started, she weighed more than 700 pounds. She needed breathing assistance. She struggled to walk. She was constantly in and out of hospitals. And she was fighting battles both physically and emotionally that most people cannot truly understand. For a long time, she was angry, frustrated, overwhelmed, and tired of people telling her what to do and how to live. Her temper, her breakdowns, her emotional explosions became the center of the show. Fans watched in fear, frustration, hope, and disbelief. And yet, season after season, she kept going. But what many people didn't expect was that Tammy would not only survive, she would triumph. She lost the weight. She entered rehab. She pushed forward when it was painful and terrifying. She qualified for and completed weight loss surgery. And then she did something even more difficult. She went through skin removal surgery, a procedure that not only requires physical commitment, but emotional strength, healing time, and an entirely new adjustment to life. This was her transformation. The moment she reached the top of the mountain, everyone said she would never climb. But here's where the reality show world comes in. The show was built around Tammy's struggle, her unpredictability, her highs and lows, her emotional battles. The tension, the fear, the setbacks, the progress. Tammy growing stable, emotionally grounded, and healthy is a beautiful thing for her as a person. But for TV, it changes everything. Reality TV runs on drama, conflict, chaos, and shock value. And now, Tammy is calm. Tammy is in love. Tammy is emotionally mature. Tammy is no longer fighting everyone in the room. The Tammy who once caused explosive moments is gone, because that Tammy was someone who was in pain. Recently, in a TikTok video, Tammy was sitting in a car wearing a full pink outfit, having fun with her friend Mallory as they promoted the Fat Boy app. Everything seemed light, easy, playful. But then, a fan left a comment that changed the tone completely. The comment read, "Tammy Slaton, are they really going to cancel the show? I hope it's not true. I'll never watch TLC again because you guys are the only reason I get on there." Tammy didn't respond. She didn't write a single word. But she did something far louder. She liked the comment. For someone under contract, unable to legally confirm or deny renewal plans, that small action speaks volumes. Tammy knows what her followers will notice. She knows how the internet reacts. She knows that liking that comment is the closest to yes. It's true that she can safely say. And fans picked up on it instantly. The reason the show is likely ending is simple. The story is complete. Tammy is not the struggling underdog anymore. She is the survivor, the healed one, the one who made it to the other side. Amy also seems to be moving into a happier, more stable chapter of her life. Chris is doing well. The chaos that once fueled the show has faded into something softer, calmer, healthier. And TLC cannot manufacture the same emotional explosion without destroying the progress Tammy worked so hard to achieve. Tammy has said herself that she is done being the villain, and she means it. But here's what makes this story powerful. Tammy does not need TLC anymore. She has already begun earning independently. She is doing brand deals, Instagram partnerships, TikTok creator revenue, paid appearances. And she is already stepping into the modeling world. She even filmed her first commercial. And there are companies already reaching out to work with her in plus-size branding and promotional campaigns. Tammy is not losing her platform, she is gaining control of it. And this is the part that matters most. Tammy wasn't just overweight, she was dying, mentally exhausted, emotionally overwhelmed, physically trapped, and spiritually drained. Doctors told her she might not make it another year. She couldn't walk. She needed oxygen to breathe. She couldn't do basic tasks alone. But now she walks. She breathes. She laughs. She loves. She chooses her life instead of being trapped by it. She has become someone stable, joyful, confident, and present. She became the version of herself she always wanted to be. And maybe the show ending is not tragedy. Maybe it is closure. Maybe this is the first time this story doesn't end in crisis, but in peace. So if this is the final chapter of 1000 Delby Sisters, then it ends not in hospital sirens or heartbreak or shouting, but with healing. Tammy did not just change her body. She changed her entire life. And that is a better ending than any network could script.
Waverly Hills, St. Asylum. Bitch, that's, girl, I will see.
Tammy Slaton's journey has always been a testament to the unpredictable nature of human transformation. Messy, painful, and yet astonishingly beautiful when someone decides to fight for themselves. Today, Tammy is stepping into a chapter that many believed she would never reach. After losing an extraordinary amount of weight, undergoing life-altering surgeries, rebuilding her mindset, and reclaiming her independence, Tammy is now being handed not just one, but two major opportunities that could reshape the rest of her life. This is the Tammy who stands tall, not the woman who once struggled to walk, to breathe, or to hope. This is the Tammy who has earned her place in the world, and the world is finally recognizing her. The first major project marking this new chapter was her unexpected debut as the star of a Hanson Boone fireworks commercial. Yes, Tammy, the same woman who once could not leave her home, was now stepping onto a professional set, surrounded by cameras, production teams, lighting rigs, and creative directors who treated her not as a medical emergency or a cautionary tale, but as a leading personality. Tammy filmed the advertisement alongside Hunter, the host of the Creative Chaos podcast, and his crew. The entire experience had a surreal lightness to it. Almost like Tammy was finally walking into a world she used to watch from behind a screen. And what made this moment even more meaningful was her connection with Al, who was also part of the shoot. They had just met for the first time, and yet they instantly bonded. They shared something that most people in the world cannot truly understand: what it means to fight your own mind, your own body, your own habits, your own pain, and to survive. Both had undergone gastric sleeve surgery to take control of their health. Both had fought cravings that felt stronger than reason. Both had stood at the edge of life and somehow pulled themselves back. This wasn't just Tammy filming a commercial. This was Tammy stepping into a new identity, one where she is seen as capable, charismatic, and valuable. And while that project alone would have been enough to signal that Tammy was leveling up, she wasn't done. Almost immediately afterward, she stepped into another powerful role. Her first appearance as the leading guest on a podcast episode that wasn't just about drama or shock value, but about reflection, gratitude, and truth. For years, Tammy's voice was often overshadowed by her struggles. People spoke about her, judged her, criticized her, analyzed her, but they rarely listened to her. This interview was one of the first times Tammy was given the space to speak as a woman who understands her journey, owns her mistakes, and honors her victories. The comments poured in, not with mockery, but with admiration. Tammy was no longer being viewed as entertainment. She was being seen as an inspiration. But perhaps the moment that stunned everyone came when Tammy revealed her current clothing size. A moment so simple, yet so deeply symbolic. For most of her life, Tammy had no freedom when it came to fashion. She could not walk into a store and choose something to wear. Clothes were not about expression or personality, they were about survival and availability. Most of her outfits were limited, oversized, and medically necessary. She wore what she could fit, not what she wanted. But now, everything has changed. Tammy, who once wore an 8XL, now fits into a size medium. When she shared this on Hunter's podcast, the room shifted. The host, who has his own history with weight, nearly cried. Not out of pity, not out of sadness, but out of genuine awe. The medium wasn't just a measurement. It was proof. Proof of discipline. Proof of struggle. Proof of every small choice Tammy made when no one was watching. Proof of every tear, every moment of weakness, every headache, every feeling of I can't do this that she still pushed through. People forget that massive weight loss comes with its own challenges. When Tammy shed more than 500 pounds, she was left with folds of excess skin that caused discomfort, infections, and emotional frustration. But she didn't stop. She didn't let fear or insecurity dictate her future. She underwent skin removal surgery, a difficult, painful, physically and emotionally demanding procedure. She put herself in the hands of Dr. Rubin, a surgeon known for his skill in cases just like hers. And together, they finished what Tammy had started. Her transformation wasn't completed in a month or a season or even a year. It took patience. It took endurance. It took a kind of emotional resilience most people will never have to summon. But she did it. She followed through. She tore down everything that once caged her. And that's exactly why what is happening now feels like destiny unfolding. Tammy is stepping into a world where she is not the punchline, not the warning lesson, not the tragic arc. She is stepping into a world where she is the hero of her story. But this new Tammy doesn't just represent physical transformation, she represents emotional rebirth. 5 years ago, Tammy was fighting for her life. She was hospitalized repeatedly. Her breathing was failing. Her mobility was almost gone. She was placed on life support, and her family was told to prepare themselves for the worst. One wrong move, one infection, one complication, she could have died. And many thought she would. Some viewers even said she was hopeless. Some doctors believed she had lost the ability to turn back. Tammy was the internet's tragic character. The woman whose story people watched not to learn, but to see if she would survive another episode. But Tammy wasn't done. Not even close. Because the real story of her life hadn't even begun yet. When she lost the weight, really lost it. Not temporarily, not for TV, but permanently, she didn't just change her body. She changed her patterns, her attitude, her relationships, her identity. She stopped arguing to avoid accountability. She started listening instead of reacting. She started protecting her peace instead of protecting her pride. She learned to apologize without explanation and to forgive without reopening wounds. For the first time, Tammy wasn't trying to prove anything to the world. She was living for herself. And that is when the world finally began to see her. Now, the conversation about the future of 1000 Delby sisters becomes unavoidable. The show was never designed to follow healthy, stable, emotionally grounded lives. It was built during the chaos, the rise and fall, the fear, the risk, the suspense. It began as a story of survival. But when survival becomes success, the narrative changes, and the network knows it. Tammy's success, ironically, removes the show's conflict. There is no dramatic weight gain to panic about. No hospital rushing scenes, no emotional explosions, no intense rehab arcs. Tammy is not the woman she once was. She has one. And reality TV rarely knows what to do with winners. Which brings us to the harder truth. Tammy's transformation marks not only the end of her struggle, but also the end of the show that documented it. The journey is complete, and TV should allow her to walk away as a victor, not drag her back into manufactured conflict just to create ratings. Tammy's pain brought profit. Her breakdowns brought viewership. Her struggle made the show successful. And now that she is healed, TLC may hesitate to let go. But Tammy deserves to move forward into a life defined by growth, opportunity, love, creativity, independence, and joy, not by past wounds that no longer represent who she is. Tammy is not trying to impress the world anymore. She is simply living. And the world is finally impressed. And the world is finally impressed.
Go on shots.
So they're looking at putting you on insulin now.
Yeah.
Do you remember what your A1C was?
Tammy Slaton's story has never been a simple journey of weight loss. It has always been something deeper, more emotional, more human. For years, the world watched her struggle, fall, break down, cry out, get hurt, and try again. And now, after everything she has endured, Tammy stands in a place many believed she would never reach, a place of strength, healing, and genuine self-love. And with that transformation has come new opportunities, new dreams, new identities. Tammy has stepped into a life that once felt impossible to her. She recently revealed not one, but two exciting new projects that have completely shifted how the world sees her. And most importantly, how she sees herself. After losing an incredible amount of weight, slow, painful, emotional progress that took years to achieve, Tammy didn't just become smaller. She became lighter in spirit. Her confidence changed. Her presence changed. Her voice changed. And the world noticed. One of the biggest surprises came when Tammy landed a role in a Hanson Boone fireworks commercial, stepping in front of the camera not as a reality show subject, but as a model, someone who was there to be seen, admired, and celebrated. She filmed the ad with Hunter from the Creative Chaos podcast and his creative crew. And something unexpected happened during that shoot. Tammy didn't just perform. She connected. She met Al, someone who had also gone through a dramatic weight loss journey. Someone who understood the mental battles, the emotional swings, the fear, the hunger, the doubt. They bonded not because of the show, but because of shared pain and survival. That connection opened a new world for Tammy. The world of conversation, of podcast storytelling, and of finally being able to talk about her journey in her own words, without being edited, shaped, or directed. But the most emotional moment wasn't the modeling. It wasn't the commercial. It wasn't even the podcast appearance. The moment that shook fans and Tammy's own heart was when she revealed her new clothing size. For most of her life, Tammy lived in sizes that didn't exist in regular stores. She couldn't walk into a mall and just choose a cute shirt. She couldn't try on dresses for fun. Clothing was always a reminder of limitation, of difference, of pain. But now, after her weight loss surgery, her commitment to physical therapy, consistent movement, healthier eating, and most importantly, after undergoing life-changing skin removal surgery, Tammy went from wearing 8XL to a medium, a size that once felt like another universe. When Tammy said it out loud on Hunter's podcast, his eyes filled with tears because he knew. He understood what it meant to fight your own body every day. To wake up feeling trapped inside yourself. To feel like you are at war with your own reflection. And suddenly, Tammy wasn't just surviving. She was free. But Tammy's transformation wasn't just physical. The emotional shift was even more powerful. She didn't rush into decisions. She didn't try to prove anything to anyone. She took her time. She prioritized health and patience. She worked closely with her surgeon, Dr. Rubin, who helped her safely remove the painful excess skin that caused infections and emotional distress. She did it carefully, thoughtfully, bravely, and now, after everything, Tammy finally has the courage to wear whatever she wants. Dresses, jeans, jackets, boutique, pieces she used to only see online. She can walk into a store and browse, not because she needs clothes, but because she deserves joy. She's glowing. She's present. She's alive in a way she wasn't before. But with this transformation, a difficult truth has also become clear. The story of 1,000 Delby sisters is coming to its natural end. When the show began, Tammy and her sister Amy were not just dealing with obesity, they were fighting for their lives. The show was raw. It was emotional. It was painful. And it needed to be shared because it represented the reality of addiction, trauma, family conflict, and the long shadow of pain that follows you when you aren't ready to heal. But now, Tammy has healed. She isn't the person she was when the cameras first rolled. The screaming matches, the breakdowns, the life or death emergencies, those were her past, not her present. And Amy has changed too. She's a mother now, a tender, loving, sometimes overwhelmed, sometimes exhausted mother of two beautiful boys, Glenn and Gage. Her world isn't about drama anymore. It's about bedtime routines, school preparation, birthday cakes, and quiet moments of joy. When Amy celebrated Glenn's birthday recently, she did it with love. Toy Story characters decorated the cake. Matching shirts were worn with pride. Her son was happy and her smile said everything. Family is changing for her. Yes, she moved into Brian's home quickly. Yes, emotions and pressure surrounded that choice. Her family worried. Fans worried. And Amy, in her heart, is still learning what love, stability, and partnership should look like. She isn't perfect, but she is trying. And trying matters. She even brought a new pet snake into the family, a surprise that made some fans uncomfortable and others delighted. Because love and family don't always look like what we expect. What matters is that Amy is seeking connection, trying to build a home where her children feel safe and loved. And Brian, for now, is stepping into that role with her. Of course, the internet has opinions. People comment on her appearance, on her nails, on her choices, on her parenting, and Amy hears it. She absorbs it quietly, even when she doesn't respond. But she is learning. She is slowing down when she needs to. She is choosing her children first, even when the world doesn't see every step. And through all of this, both sisters have grown beyond the show that introduced them to the world. The truth is, 1000 LB Sisters was never meant to be endless. It was meant to show a journey. Tammy has completed hers. Amy is now in a new chapter, one that is private, sacred, and personal. Continuing the show risks turning something beautiful into something painful again. If cameras remain, the network may try to create conflict where there is now harmony. They may look for tension where there is healing. And that would not honor what these women have fought to become. Tammy doesn't need another dramatic storyline. She doesn't need to cry for ratings. She doesn't need to be the girl who almost died. She is the woman who lived. And that is enough. If the show ends now, it ends with dignity, with honor, with pride. This is the rare moment where reality TV can choose compassion over profit. Tammy gave the world vulnerability, pain, fear, and truth. Amy gave the world laughter, joy, heartbreak, and resilience. They have both already given everything. Now they deserve peace. They deserve quiet. They deserve a life that belongs only to them. And maybe, just maybe, the most powerful ending of all is letting them walk away healed.